you can talk to Kyla about that in
Yeah,
our
well,
thing today.
it's a little different from what she does, although I'm kind of interested in studying that more as I.
Well,
Yeah.
we're recording, it seems like, so let us
Okay.
begin our party to the ripple effect. Welcome, ripple affecting people. You see, ripple, ripple, ripple.
Okay, there we go. There was some green background. Where did that come from? Let's see here. Okay.
Me?
Yeah, no, I just saw like a green screen on our broadcast, but yeah. Um,
Hmm.
well, welcome to the Ripple Effect, folks. And we were just catching up with Kyla, who hasn't been on for a while, but we're glad to have her because she has some new things going on, including a open house tomorrow. But we're gonna get to her. If I did want to ask Erica if she wanted to do a check-in because she actually won a bunch of medals at her swim meet like a week or two ago.
I have
And
them. I want to
yeah,
show
well, I got some great pictures of those too. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Did I put my medals? Where did they go?
What
Um,
did you like swim in every event? You're like that one person who wins every event, even in their worst stroke.
you know,
remember,
they kicked
remember
us
those
out.
swimmers?
Oh yeah.
I know where I put the medals. They kicked us out of our sixth event, and I didn't realize how to do the thing. So the sixth event was the 400-meter IM. So I was kind of like disappointed and kind of relieved because it does take a lot out of the person to
Yeah.
do it. But yes, you saw my some of my medals, my ribbons. It's see,
They're super colorful. Yeah. Nice.
this is from the meet before. No blue. This one is from this one.
Yeah,
Blue.
my
Lots of blue.
goal is to get Carrie on the swim team. We found this great swim instructor, and she says she's going to likely be a breaststroker. So she's kind of well on her way, and she's a little burnout on soccer. So I can't wait to
Mm.
have
Nice.
her swim all winter, which is great. So yeah.
Nice.
Yay.
That's my 9 year old who I did swim team as a kid, and my
Yeah.
dad's always been a big swimmer, and his sister's like still in the masters as well. So, but I
Nice.
know I know you're a swimmer too, Kyla. You do
Yeah.
swimming, running. I mean, I don't know what your favorite is, but isn't swimming
Oh.
up there?
Swimming is probably my favorite. It's the one that's the easiest. I don't have to think about it. I could get away without training for it and still just be fine. So it's probably my favorite. It's definitely my strongest.
I don't know if you've heard about here in the Bay Area, a somewhat popular thing is that polar bear swim. People actually swim in the bay with those sharks and everything
Yep.
there. There's not as many sharks actually in the bay, but still, a lot of people
That's
are
the Golden Gate
fearful
Bridge.
of that, Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
Golden Gate Bridge. I'm
Have
Yeah.
you
actually,
done that before, Erica? You probably have. Yeah.
I actually have not. I've just done the open water swims that I've done. That one was in the Jack London Square Bay right there.
Right.
I did that a couple times, and then I did the Morro Bay triathlon, and then I did the one in Long Beach. I have my four things I've done. But you guys, I'm listening to this book on audio while I'm cleaning my tower gardens. It's called Why We Swim, and
Nice.
it's a really lovely, dreamy book, and she talks about the somebody who has a very complicated name from Iceland, and he actually had the body of a seal. That's how he could swim in ridiculous cold waters of Iceland when the boat sank and all the people didn't make it. He had some kind of anomaly in his body, and now ever since 1985 there is this swim that happens that it's about safety and getting your lifeboats all ready for the ship. So anyway, it's in this book called Why We Swim, and it's a lovely listen. 7 hours. Here's the book, Why We Swim. You see-
Nice.
yeah, it's really cool, by Bonnie Tsui, I believe is how you
Oh,
pronounce
interesting.
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
TS.
this is kind of like an off the wall question, but I mean, what water do you like to swim in the most for your triathlons? I mean, I've always liked lake, something that's like more modest. If it's too cold, it's not quite as fun, but like when you go down to Long Beach, isn't that, I mean, the ocean's pretty nice down there. If you, I don't know if you, that's in the ocean or where the Long Beach, that kind of swim focused, what is it, two events in it, swimming and running, or?
Swimming and running. Yeah. So Long Beach, it's in like a little harbor, if I remember correctly. And it is still quite cold and not great because it's dirty. It's like right next to the harbor with all the big boats, and so it's not like crisp and clean and beautiful. It's, cold. And there, when we did our race, it was in the afternoon, and it was all the cruise ships were leaving, and they were kicking up all this wake, and so it was very lots and lots of waves, which is not a lot of fun, and people were getting seasick, which is not great. But everyone did their very, very best. That
I
was the
did
best.
my very, very best, and I am better now that I have been on a swim team, so I can get, it's such an interesting learning. Like I was hyperventilating through most of that swim, and then I
Right.
calmed myself down. It was a very, I thought I was gonna die, and then I
Yeah.
figured it out, and the people around me were like, okay, take 10 strokes and then breathe. And it was like, and it was like really supportive. But then since being on the swim team, I can go for a longer amount of time. And as soon as I get any hyperventily quality, I go swimming backstroke. And that's my strategy. So even if it's 58 degrees, I'm in a wetsuit. So it's, you get used to it. And then you're like backstroke, survival, survival. I will survive this. I will survive this.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
So we,
think
we totally have thrown up our script because we already started talking, but
Yeah, we kind of screwed up in that. We got to at least introduce Kyla first in terms of what she does. Just if you don't mind, just giving us kind of a short version of your background and what you do, Kyla.
my story. Hi, I'm
Yeah.
Kyla Lupo. I'm a triathlon coach who is committed to a radical level of inclusivity. That means that every single person, no matter who, how, what they are, where they came from, is welcome on my team. And I advocate for that level of inclusivity in the world of sport and just in the world in general. And yeah, so I coach people in any one of those three disciplines: swimming, cycling, or running. On our team, we have people who have never finished a triathlon. They just still haven't gotten to that start line, but they train and they exercise and that kind of stuff. And we have people who are multiple Ironman finishers. And Ironman is that big, big, big race that's 140 miles long. So we've got from all the way from the never haves to the M. champions. Yeah, so that is what I do.
and Kyla was my, it's hard to say was, but Kyla is my triathlon coach. Like I got to be coached by Kyla my first triathlon, my second triathlon, the I got your consult for the Morro Bay triathlon last year, and the aquathlon. I was in part of your camp, and I got to do some somatic yoga wisdom at a couple of your camps. And so I'm a huge Kyla Lupo fan, team go big. And for me, the inclusivity that you offer, Kyla, means I get to play, and I have this very funky body from birth. Like, so my body was like, oh, I fit here. And it just is such a wonderful, loving, and inclusive way to support people to their best triathlete selves and all the things in between.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad
Yeah, I
we're
always have had a soft spot for triathletes, and that a lot of my life growing up was revolving around those type of sports because my dad was basically still is a triathlete, although he doesn't usually do too many races anymore. But um, I think he's done the Ironman a few times, but his favorite thing is biking, and then he's of
Mhm.
course biking and swimming, but then the running isn't quite as fun when you're like those things so much, to
Absolutely.
like, especially a bit later in life. But um, yeah, I grew up in Sacramento, and Epi's Great Race is always a popular thing out there, and that's actually kayaking instead of
Yeah.
swimming. So we used to go to that every year and kind of watch it. It was it's a big kind of inclusive thing because a lot of people split those legs, so you can get
Yeah.
people who are not necessarily experts to still do like the kayaking or the biking, but
Nice.
uh, I don't know if and I know Erica's story, it's really changed her whole life with the training that you do and where she's went with it. But I was just gonna see if you could um maybe Erica give if you want to give a little testimonial for Kyla about how you got into it and what it's done for you and kind of enriching your life.
Yeah, yeah. And while we have Kyla here, I really want to hear from her. So I can totally do what you're asking me to do, David, but let's get Kyla talking. So like Kyla, tell us about what's going on with the world of triathlons, what's latest, and yeah, I'll share a story at the end if we have time.
That's super exciting. It is a really exciting time in the triathlon world right now. Everyone's eyes are on Kona, which is the world championship for the Ironman distance race, which is that way. It's in Hawaii. And so it's kind of exciting. It's when the news starts to cover, the mainstream news starts to cover more triathlon stuff is when it happens in Kona. So that's pretty exciting.
And
In the
remind me what are the lengths on the Kona, like the true Ironman?
Right. So on a full Ironman or an ultra distance, it's 2.4 miles of swimming and then 112 miles of cycling, and then really easy, a marathon, which is 26.2 miles of running. And you just smash all those together. And does anyone want to guess? Does anyone want to guess what the course record is time-wise for Kona? Just guess, just guess.
I'll say 8 hours.
No way. What about
Eric?
Oh
15
no,
hours?
No, 6.5 hours, I think, 6 hours, 12 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
wow.
The last time the men were in Kona, the guy who won it broke the record for the marathon. And he, after doing all the swimming and all the cycling, ran a marathon with consistent, like 5.5 minute miles. He
Wow.
ran a 5.5 minute mile marathon after doing all the other stuff.
You must have
And
had really good nutrition.
do the math real quick, the what's its face for a marathon, the record for a marathon is like 2 minutes and 3 seconds or something like that, which is fairly consistently 4 minute miles.
Wow.
So he ran it not that much slower than our good friend, his name always starts with a K. It always falls right out of my head when I want to do it. But the one who's consistently trying to get a sub 2 hour marathon. Anyway, in the smaller world of triathlon, it's sort of the end of the season and things are wrapping up. And so one of the things we do at the end of a summer season is we have an open house. So people can come to our team meetings and meet us and see what we're about. Part of Team Go Big is having a really strong, really great community. And we're not just like locally based here in Florida, we're all over the United States. And so Erika is in Oakland. We have people in LA, we have Iowa, we have Illinois, we have Maryland, we have Virginia, we have Maine.
Colorado? Still Colorado?
Um, no, Missouri. We have people from all over the place. And so we have team meetings once a week where we come together and we learn stuff or we hang out. And so what we're doing is throwing those doors open, throwing the Zoom room doors open, inviting everyone to come to our team meeting on tomorrow. So it's tomorrow night, woohoo,
Yeah,
at 7 o'clock Eastern time.
Eastern. I
And
highly recommend if you're like thinking about getting ready to think about getting, it's so positivo to come hang out with Kyla and Team Go Big. So run, don't walk.
no walk or walk if that's what you could do. Cycle, don't run.
Hop on.
We really are a team for anyone and everyone who is looking at any type of working out, exercise, endurance, triathlon, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, we've got never haves to multiple Ironman finishers and everything in between. And we're so committed to acceptance and inclusivity that like we already love you, just like come join our team too. So that's tomorrow at 7. And then we've got the winter season coming up where a lot of people train for running events, which is super fun. But winter season also means it's time for training camp. And we have an amazing training camp coming up in February, which I'm really excited about. And if you're interested, ping me like, you know, Facebook or wherever you find Team Go Big, send me a ping and I will send you the information for the training camp because it's going to just be, we had such a party last year. It's going to be so much fun this year. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, we'll put the links to that, how to find out about that. Is there a tab on your website or anything on about that?
There
Or
is. If you go to gobig.life, you'll find everything that you need that's there. There's stuff about the camp, stuff about the team meetings, stuff about myself and my assistant coach, Liz, all sorts of good stuff.
You'll see pictures of me throughout the website.
You see Erika on the website.
I had so much fun with you at all the camps I've been to. I've been to like 3.
Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh, you have. You've been to the inaugural that was in Illinois, and then the one in Long Beach, and then last year the one that was here. And hopefully you'll come to this year's one as well. Fingers
yeah,
crossed.
I have to figure that out.
Yeah.
There's things going on that we'll see. We'll see.
Figure
So what else? What else? Do you want to answer this question? What are some common myths about exercise and endurance sports?
So I was thinking about this. I was
Yeah.
trying to think about common myths about endurance sports. And I was like, all right, well, let's think about common myths about triathlon. I think the number one thing is that you have to be a super fit person to do it. And you don't. You have to be whatever level of fitness you want to be to do it. Whether that's, you know, like super fit and buff and you've been working out for decades, or you're someone who, you know, goes for a walk around the block every day or every other day. Doesn't matter where your fitness level is, that's the perfect fitness level, right? And I think the other common myth that I'll talk about is, because there's lots of them, is that you have to have a really expensive bike and it has to be really amazing and have all the gears and the sparkles and the special wheels and all that. It doesn't. All you need is a bicycle. That's it. And for a lot of people, that's the hardest part is finding a bicycle, and they think they need something like really big and expensive, and they don't. Erika, tell them about your bike. I love your bike so much. It's my
I
favorite.
I always get these fun jalopy bikes, like these grandma bicycles that are like with the little basket and it's like heavy. So, you know, the first triathlon, I had saddlebags or panniers on the back of my bicycle because I was like, I'm gonna need my snacks in there when I take a little, not smoke break, but you know, take a little break. And people are like, nice saddlebags. So I've had the jalopy slow bikes. Is that what you're talking about? Like when I came to
Yeah.
your camp, I borrowed the Airbnb lovely host was like, yes, you can borrow my bicycle.
the
And it was
Craigslist special, like the 10 speed, it's been
Yes.
sitting
Not
out in the
even. It was like a
city.
3-speed. It was beautiful. It
because
was
I was just like, I'm just
beautiful.
coming for the enjoyment of being
Those
out.
are vintage, you can get them tuned up and they can, I don't know. I used to work at a bike shop, so I admire bikes and you
Yeah.
can get some deals, but it does cost kind of a lot to fix them up. We used to
Yeah.
Right.
build some of our old bikes from like the ground up, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like,
If I
like
if
Oh.
my,
I do come to the camp, I would probably want to get a little upgrade on that bicycle. So, you know, a little
Oh,
faster.
we've already got bikes figured out.
Oh, you
It,
do?
there's a few things we're going to do different this coming year than we did last year. We've sort of learned a few things as far as like managing a lot of people and that kind of thing. And so there's a few things we're going to do different. So
Oh,
I'm
good.
really excited about it.
Well,
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing about that. And, you know, I highly recommend it if you're newbie to triathloning, if you're medium advanced or super. It was so inclusive of everybody and fun and educational. Like, Kyla, you're an educator first. You love helping
yeah,
adults get educated and get with the program. So, and then you
I,
put it all into the athleticism of wherever you're at, and your coach Liz does the same. It was very cool and very fun and very
Yeah.
supportive.
I was
and
thinking we need that book for Kyla, the Go Big book, you know.
you can go
You ever
big.
thought about writing a book? It'd be great.
Oh my goodness. I have thought so much about writing a book so many times. Yeah, it'll happen one of these days. One of these days,
Yeah,
it'll.
because you can do it so you don't necessarily like give away everything, and that you might just start with like a ebook on kind of getting started or something, you
Right.
know, and
Yep.
just kind of like write like a 40 pager on how to do it. And then, you know, then they, of course, a lot of people need the one-on-one coaching, but you know, I've kind of a big advocate of that, especially what you kind of know and a lot of these things. I'm thinking, oh, that's a section in a book, because a lot of people, you
Yeah.
know, maybe you're frustrated with your career or something, but this is like such an exciting part of your life that you can do at low cost that can really brighten up the whole rest of your life. You know, I think that's what I found with some of this new progress I've made. And like finding a bike, like for example, to get started, just, you know, get started on the bike, or getting started swimming. So I don't know. We'll have to talk about that. I got some tips on how to get started with riding, but your
Nice.
book would be
And
great.
you have an ebook, right, David? So we can model after your ebook. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple, and I'm actually going to put out my third one by the end of the year, hopefully. So yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah, I'll share them with you as a little example. Yeah,
Yes,
and
please.
really, you can just start out with short chapters, and yeah, take a look. Um, Is there anything, I know we're a little bit close on time, so I wanted to ask if we're leaving out anything, Kyla, maybe your ideal client. Who are you looking for to connect with out there, and who is your ideal client in terms of your go big, really kind of an
It's
enrollment? It's a
such
program,
a
really.
great question, right? Because I want to say, like, my ideal client is anyone. And they always teach you in marketing, the first thing is it's not everyone. So it's like, all right, okay. So my ideal client is someone who has a big challenge in their heart. And they want to do the big challenge, the big scary goal. And they need someone to walk with them. And they want a community to surround them. Now, if that big goal is sports related, maybe it's an endurance swim, or they want to bike across Iowa, or they want to do a 50K trail run, or they want to do a triathlon, that's even better. But I love people who have big goals in their hearts, and I want to help them get those goals done. So that's my ideal client.
Yeah, great. And
Are we
um,
not going to be able to get to the wild card question? Because I was like, oh, I wonder what that's going to be.
we can have Erica ask that. She has like a whole list of wild card questions, and then I probably could come up with a couple, but
So,
we might have to take some of those next time too.
well,
But
yeah, we'll just do it next time. So wild card question could be about, this is such an amazing thing that you support people with. And like I think of it as mental sanity to be a
yeah,
triathlete, to be a swimmer, to be any of those sports. So how are you playing with sanity as a coach and a supporter?
Oh,
and
oh,
just
that
a
is
quick
like
time check too. We got to end here
Is
in
that
about a
okay?
minute or two because we have a
about a
beehive.
minute. Okay, here we go. It's not even the wild card, it's the lightning round.
Yeah, the
Uh,
lightning round.
so
Sorry, on the spot.
like mental health and stress management as a coach, right? Like, let's say I got 20 people on my team. I am involved in 20 people's goals and loves and passions. So when good things happen, I'm like, yeah. And when bad things happen, I am right there on the couch crying with you with tissues, right? So mental health looks like I have a really good talk therapist. I have a really good psychiatrist. I get massages on the reg. I get acupuncture. I have a good friend network, and I have a great coach network that I can go to. Like, they talk about how a psychiatrist or psychologists always have their own psychologist. I have other coaches I can go to and say, oh my God, my heart is broken. I don't know how to deal with this, or like that sort of thing. And so really it's what all of us should be doing. I
Yes.
really make sure that I get it done, because if I don't, it'll derail everything. And I won't be able to hold all those people in my heart unless I know that I'm filling my cup, filling my heart first. So there you go. Mental health in a nutshell.
Amen. See,
Beautiful.
it's a beautiful way to be better, to be healthier in all the ways we can be. So I love you, Kyla. Thank you, David, for letting us interview Kyla Lupo on the ripple effect.
Yeah, yeah, and let us know if you have anything coming up early next year that you might want to get some enrollments or whatever, because I know that's always a popular time for health. So let's look at maybe January or February to come back and finish
Oh yeah,
this conversation. But
that'd be
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, great. Well, we got to get to our BNI thing, or I do, and
Me too.
I'll put the contacts for Kyla, who works remotely. She's actually based in Florida, near where all those rockets take off. I forget the name of the town. Is it Cape Canaveral? You
That's where
proper?
the rockets take off. I live in Palm Bay.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Palm Bay. Well, good. Well, thanks for coming on, and I know it's been a while, so it's great to catch up. So.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we'll talk. We have to talk about your book too. Sometime.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
Do
happy
it.
to help.
Let's do it.
absolutely.
Kyla, let's write our
Okay.
books. Let's write
Let's
our book.
Okay.
I love
Bye,
you.
everyone. I'm gonna have to end here.
Okay, take care.
See you
Talk to you
next
soon.
time.